Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates. And boy, do we have a ton to talk about today. I'm going to try to keep things limited to the biggest events that I can think of here. But there is definitely a lot to discuss, guys, so stick around. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. All right, as you guys know, FS Expo wrapped up this weekend. However, there is a ton of new announcements and new features and new things that are coming down the road, and we have quite a bit to talk about, you guys, so stick around, including some information on a brand new ATC program that is really going to change the game. I've got some inside information on it as well as some really cool stuff coming down the road in regards to that program, so stick around for that as well. But we're also going to talk about new aircraft releases, new hardware releases, some of which we touched on in the previous video, as well as some software changes and development updates to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and the thoughts on that. So let's get started. So first up, Bluebird Simulations has given us a new update, going to their Facebook page and posting some new screenshots in regard to the Boeing 757, a very highly anticipated aircraft. It'll be nice to see another Boeing reaching the fleet of airliners available in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We don't have any kind of release date information yet, but you guys can see they've done an incredibly extensive amount of work to the flight deck, and it is coming along extremely nicely. This is one of those aircraft that I am super excited for. Again, nothing against the Airbus pilots or Airbus aircraft, but it is definitely time for something new. We have seen a ton of new Airbus aircraft hitting the floor, and we're going to be talking about another one today in this video. So it is very refreshing to see some new shots of a new Boeing aircraft, one that I have been waiting for since its initial announcement. And you guys can see here is a beautiful shot of the aircraft inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator, tearing through the skies on a beautiful climb out during the sunset. I am super excited for this aircraft. The Boeing 757 and 767 series, I think, are two of the coolest aircraft that Boeing has ever put out, next to, yes, the 747. I think the Queen of the Skies will always be my favorite simply because of its sheer size and overall design, but the 757 and 767 are right behind it. They are just absolutely very iconic and very cool looking aircraft. A nice long body aircraft is definitely what we need, and something, again, I'm going to say it, other than Airbus. I know that Asobo is a French company, so it absolutely makes sense given the fact that we have so many Airbus products being released, especially given the fact that the foundation already exists within inside the simulator. I'm sure a lot of those keys are used in the development of all of these Airbus aircraft. However, it is time for a refresher. It is time for something new, and finally, it looks like it is coming down the way. Again, we have no release information as of yet, no price points, no release date or anything like that, but as you guys can see, the development of the aircraft has certainly moved along very nicely. So stay tuned to the channel, guys, because I can promise you this is one that I am following very closely. Flight Control Replay version 5 is getting ready to receive a very major enhancement. One of those things being the Flyby Camera. I know this is something that we have all been absolutely wanting for a very long time, since the inception, if you will, of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Why this wasn't something that was put into default is just beyond me, given the fact that everybody loves the flyby view. It does not matter what simulator you're in, DCS World, Microsoft Flight Simulator, P3D, it doesn't matter. The flyby view has always been one of those things that is just a need in flight simulation, in my opinion. And so it is very awesome to see that once again, we now have another developer that is taking to the challenge and creating it. Flight Control Replay offers the ability to not only make a flyby view, but to set the distance and overall perspective of the aircraft, meaning whether it be on the ground, up in the air, if you want the tail, if you want the shot from an angled, like 45-degree offset, you will have that ability to very quickly set that up and be able to have your flyby views. Now, they've also done some amazing work with specific aircraft, such as the H-145 from High Performance Group. This is going to be a very, very awesome utility, and it's really going to separate flight control replay from everybody else. They've also, as you guys can see here, if you guys are catching on to what's happening, they've added formation flying, the ability to essentially record a flight and then have AI repeat your flight while you fly in command of another aircraft. They've really gone a long way with this, and this is what's going to separate them from everyone else. One of the products that I have been using for a very, very long time is the SkyDolly. SkyDolly is a free recording software that does an absolutely amazing job, but now it's going to be stepped to the back panel here, given the fact that again, the flyby view is everything, in my opinion. It's such a cool, immersive point, and it's really awesome to be able to come back and check things out as you will. Awesome part about this is, guys, is I've actually been given a release copy of this, so I will be able to test it out. I believe I was under NDA. That NDA has been lifted as of now, so I think that I'm clear. I will double check with the developer before I do so, but I'll be able to actually showcase and give you guys an example of the product, and you'll be able to see it live on the channel. We'll get a first-hand experience of what it is from the end user standpoint and how hard it is to actually function. But from everything that I've seen, the UI is laid out very, very nicely, and it seems like it's going to be a very seamless process to customize those replays as well as the formation flying. So super excited for this one, guys. Again, that is Flight Control Replay. Make sure that you guys check it out. It's available exclusively on the sim market. TFDI has put their MD-11 on pre-sale. You guys can purchase it from their website. It's on $80 is what we're looking at. And however, if you guys attended the expo, I really hope you stopped by their booth and picked up their little discount card, which will save you 15% on the purchase of the aircraft. The MD-11 is much, like I was saying before with the Boeing 757, it is a very welcomed aircraft, and it is time for something new, and this is definitely something that's going to take us to that particular arena of a new aircraft, not to mention a tri-engine aircraft. Now, in the real world, the MD-11 actually had quite a few problems, but luckily we're in simulation, so we just get to enjoy the experience of flying this beautiful tri-engine aircraft. It is a very large aircraft, you guys, so this should be a lot of fun to maneuver around your large airports, especially doing some cargo hauling in it. I think is going to be my personal preference with it, and I'm definitely super excited to grab this one. I will be doing the pre-purchase and making sure that I have it available on the day of release for you guys to enjoy the viewing. We'll probably do a live stream with this aircraft. We haven't done a live stream in a very long time, and I think that would be a fun way to do our first flight in the MD-11. They're promising a very highly detailed aircraft with many customization options, everything from certain display layouts to engine readouts and things like that. To keep things comfortable for each end user in their own retrospect. So this is going to be, or respect, not retrospect. So this is going to be, again, another very welcomed aircraft. As you guys can see, everything from the flight deck back is modeled and highly detailed. They're certainly putting a lot of work into this aircraft. One of the cool things to note, obviously, is that since the aircraft is not yet released, all of these things are subject to change or further enhancement. So let's cross our fingers that the progress continues smoothly and that we can soon take the MD-11 to the skies of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Again, it is available on pre-sale right now for $80. Again, if you stopped by their booth and grabbed their discount card, you can save yourself 15% on the aircraft. Militech Simulations did an announcement that they are developing the Chinook. For those of you guys who don't know, the Chinook is a tandem rotor heavy lift helicopter, very heavily used in the military. Here is an image of the aircraft. If you guys have not seen one before, this is the Chinook. I'm sure that you guys have all seen it and maybe not recognize the name if you were unfamiliar. However, they are promising an extremely detailed version of this particular helicopter. As you guys can see, they are putting a ton of detail into the cockpit. This is another one that's going to be very, very interesting, as yes, it is a helicopter, but flies much differently than most of the other helicopters that we are used to in flight simulation. They have actually stated that they are looking to bridge the gap between real world and simulation, meaning that they are looking for obviously extremely high fidelity with this particular helicopter. Now, we don't have any kind of pricing information yet, but we do know that they're aiming for a release of Q4 of 2023. So late 2023, guys, is when we should expect to see this aircraft hit the Microsoft Flight Simulator marketplace. Again, this looks like I haven't seen any announcement saying that it's going to be sold anywhere else. It looks like it's going to be an in-game purchase, so keep that in mind. But this is another one that I think will be a really cool addition, especially if they find a way to incorporate missions into it that the Chinook would take part in. The Chinook, if you guys have never seen it, you guys can see this thing being landed, quote unquote landed, I should say hovered with its rear door down, sitting on the edge of a cliff while the troops board and disboard the aircraft, or embark and disembark the aircraft, while the aircraft's just hovering on the edge of a cliff. It's really found itself in some really amazing situations. You will also find it sometimes, like Navy SEALs will use it. They'll actually put the rear end in the water and allow SEALs to be either extracted or again disembark from the helicopter directly into the water. It's really been pushed to the limits many, many times. And if they meet the fidelity that they're looking for, this could be a fun one to really practice some crazy stuff in, obviously within the safe comfort of your own home and your own simulator. So stay tuned for more information on the Chinook being developed by Miltech Simulations.
Beyond ATC.
United 259er, cleared to Austin Bergstrom International. DOTS to departure, CNARI transition, then as filed. Climb via SID, except maintain 15000. Departure frequency 124.3. That's 24.3. Squawk 3427.
London Control, good morning. Easy 88901, 3000 for 4000.
Easy 88901, good morning to you as well. Radar contact, turn left heading 090, climb and maintain flight level 060.
Bird 581, backtrack.
Okay, so clearly I'm going to have to do this in 2 videos, but I wanted you guys to get a brief idea of what Beyond ATC is going to look like. Guys, I got a chance to actually talk with the developer. I'm going to be working very closely with him over the next couple weeks. We are going to be seeing this on the channel. I'm going to be working with him and even either doing a recording or some sort of live stream with him where we will be able to get questions and overall configurations and end goals directly from the developer himself. Very, very nice gentleman. It was an absolute pleasure speaking with him. And you guys, this new ATC program is going to absolutely revolutionize the game as we know it. This is incredibly high-performing air traffic control simulator that really added a ton of things that you just couldn't imagine coming from an AI source. One of the things that I really appreciated about speaking with the developer over this weekend is that he stated that this weekend, obviously, with the different interactions and the numerous amount of people that were trying it, we did see, or that he did see, I should say, a uptick in things such as bugs and fixes, things like that. So they are literally taking all the information, things that they went through over FS Expo, and then they're going to go home and polish it out. And then it sounds like I will probably be receiving a build shortly thereafter. That super excited for that. Super excited to work for the developer and be able to give you guys my feedback. As you guys know, I have tried FS HUD. I have used Pilot to ATC. I have also used Pilot's Edge in the past, speaking of real world air traffic controllers. So I've got a pretty good idea on how all of that operates and kind of things that we have been looking for. One of the things that I was greatly impressed with Beyond ATC is the realistic sounding in the voices coming from an AI source. Now, obviously, there's still always going to be limitations. You're always going to have certain sounds that are just going to sound robotic or recorded, and that's because essentially they still are. But the way that they are able to use the AI to make a lot of those sounds and transitions from word to numbers and going through a sequence sounds significantly more realistic. I was highly impressed with. One of the things that they are focusing on is the voice activation, being able to straight out of the box be able to recognize just about any accent or linguistic background that you guys may have. So that is one of the things that they are very, very focused on, is making sure that the user experience straight out of the box requires no training or anything like that. It is not using the built-in Windows recorder or voice recognition, much like all of the other softwares that we have used in the past. It is completely standalone, and this is going to be quite incredible, you guys. It's going to be absolutely mind-blowing to see what this thing can do. I cannot wait to show it to you guys. I cannot wait to show you guys what I experienced and the things that I saw and heard as I was monitoring. I spent a lot of time sort of standing in the background at their particular booth, just listening to the different voices, listening to the different responses, listening to the configuration, listening or watching as things were configured and set up. And it was really quite impressive. They've really gone above and beyond, if you will. See what I did there? The expectation from an AI ATC. Super excited for this one, you guys. Watch this one very, very closely. Keep your eyes and ears open. And as soon as I have more information, I am going to be delivering that to you guys right away. This will definitely be our focal point. As always, guys, Stay safe and healthy. There is going to be a second news video. We'll do that one tomorrow, but there's just so many things that we still have. And yes, I said money on purpose. So many things that we have to cover, guys, that I'm going to break this up into 2 videos. Otherwise, it would be just unbelievably long. We're not even halfway through the things that I want to discuss with you guys. So as always, guys, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you all in the next one.